I'm Veronica Dudo. Tonight on EWTN News Nightly, suspect in custody.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We got him.
Officials in Utah say they made an arrest in the assassination of conservative advocate Charlie Kirk. Focus on Russia, why a bipartisan group on Capitol Hill is seeking to put more pressure on the Kremlin. Hope Amid Darkness, a new movie, examines the final days of a saint who died in a Nazi concentration camp during World War II. Plus, a real gift, a new poll examines the attitude of Americans toward Pope Leo as the Holy Father prepares for his birthday on Sunday. These stories and more tonight.
From EWTN, the Global Catholic Network, this is EWTN News Nightly.
Thank you for being with us. Our top story tonight. A 33-hour manhunt comes to an end as the person suspected of killing conservative activist Charlie Kirk is now in custody. Investigators say 22-year-old Tyler Robinson admitted he was responsible. White House correspondent Owen Jensen reports. Owen.
Veronica, good evening to you. President Donald Trump broke the news during a TV interview this morning. Now, police held a news conference revealing a lot more about the suspect from Utah.
We got him.
Utah Governor Spencer Cox says the man suspected of shooting Charlie Kirk wrote messages on bullets found with the murder weapon.
Inscriptions on the 3 unfired casings read, "Hey fascist!" Catch!
Investigators say the suspect's father recognized him from images released to the public and reached out to a youth pastor who helped Tyler Robinson turn himself in.
Investigators interviewed a family member of Robinson who stated that Robinson had become more political in recent years.
Vice President J.D. Vance yesterday used Air Force Two to fly Kirk's casket from Utah to Arizona. Second Lady Usha Vance stepped off the plane with Kirk's widow. Today, the Vice President writes, "Say a prayer for Erica Kirk and those 2 beautiful babies. We took a big step this morning in getting justice for Charlie and for his family. Thanks be to God for that." FBI Director Kash Patel ended his remarks at today's press conference with a personal and emotional message.
Lastly, to my friend Charlie Kirk, rest now, brother. We have the watch, and I'll see you in Valhalla.
President Donald Trump also considered Kirk a dear friend. He responded to the murder Thursday before flying to New York.
Well, Charlie Kirk was a great person, a great man, great in every way, especially with youth.
President Trump says he will attend Kirk's funeral.
My condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. May I ask, sir, personally, how are you holding up over the last day and a half, sir?
I think very good.
It's believed the suspected gunman acted alone. He was taken into custody last night, is being held without bail, and is due in court next week. At the White House, Owen Jensen, EWTN News Nightly.
In the hours after the shooting, video of the incident went viral online, shared countless times across social media. Seeing such images can have a detrimental effect, not only psychologically, but spiritually as well. Joining us now is Father Dave Pivonka, president of Franciscan University of Steubenville, Ohio. Father, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, it's my pleasure to be with you.
In the wake of the shocking assassination of Charlie Kirk, how can the Catholic community and people of all faiths lean on their spiritual beliefs to process such a violent and traumatic event?
Well, I think the manner with which you ask the question is really important, is that so many of the ills that we're dealing with in the culture today are deeply religious, deeply spiritual. You know, I've had to deal with some of our students here at the university that have been impacted deeply by this, but as you made the allusion to, have actually seen the death of Charlie Kirk. It was shared on Instagram and on Twitter and X or whatever it's called today, and it's just, there's this trauma. Obviously, there was the trauma of the people who were at the event, there were the trauma of the Kirk family, and now literally tens and thousands of young people have experienced the same trauma of being able to see somebody actually be murdered in front of their eyes. It's just awful. I was struck by the first reading on that day in Mass. It said, may the peace of Christ guard your heart. And that's just really what we pray, is that God's peace would guard the hearts of our young people, the people that were there and saw this event, try to bring healing to that population as well.
Graphic videos and disturbing content spread almost instantly online. What advice would you give to young people and all social media users on protecting their hearts and minds from being re-traumatized by repeatedly viewing such images?
Yeah, I think the number one thing is to the best you can, don't view it. Absolutely don't share it. The Catechism speaks of the scandal that can be created by that. So don't view it, don't share it. And again, I've been dealing with students here at the university. If you saw something, it's going to kind of be in your mind. Take some time to pray, to think, surrender, to give that to God. Honestly, for some of the kids, it may mean talking to somebody, talking to a youth minister, their parent, perhaps a counselor. It's really a graphic, traumatic thing that no person should have to see. It really tears away the dignity of the human person for the Kirk family, for Charlie, and then the young people that were, in many ways, weren't prepared to see this, and it just came across their screen. It's just a really tragic, unfortunate thing.
How should we reconcile the call for peace, forgiveness, and prayer with the deep pain and outrage people naturally feel after a public figure is killed in such a tragic way?
Yeah, I think that at the heart of it is going to be one of surrender. I had the blessing of being able to spend some time with Immaculée yesterday, and you know her story. Her family was killed in the Rwanda genocide, and she continually talked about forgiveness, is that ultimately it's forgiveness. It's allowing the grace of God to be present to us, allowing God to show himself to us in the midst of really great anger and frustration, rightly understood, but that anger can become a poison. So it's really important that we surrender that, we give that to the Lord and pray for his peace.
Now, in the aftermath of this assassination, what steps can individuals, families, and communities take both spiritually and practically to move forward in faith and hope rather than despair?
Yeah, I think that practically is, on a very concrete level, to have opportunities and occasions that people are going to be able to talk about it. My concern is that so much of this is living on social media, and that's where young people are going to process this, and that's where the problem is so often started. So I would encourage communications, but then really practically praying that the Spirit of God would be present to you, that the fruits of the Holy Spirit, ones of peace and joy and comfort, be present to the people that are just continually struggle with this trauma.
Father Dave Pivonka, president of Franciscan University, thank you so much.
Of course, thank you.
Now to some good news. Sophia Forches, one of the victims of the Annunciation Catholic Church shooting, is out of critical condition. 2 weeks ago, the 12-year-old suffered a gunshot wound to the head. The hospital said yesterday her condition is now serious, and her family is calling her recovery a miracle. A GoFundMe page has raised more than $1 million for her family and the recovery. President Trump says as part of his crackdown on crime, he is sending the National Guard to Memphis, Tennessee. The president says both the Tennessee governor and Memphis mayor support the move. According to the FBI, there have been more than 15,000 violent crimes in Memphis over the past 5 years. Separately, President Trump says he would have preferred to go to Chicago. Currently, the National Guard remains in D.C. until the end of November, where officials say crime has decreased. The administration is exploring sending troops to other cities such as Baltimore and New Orleans. Meanwhile, Poland's prime minister says he is dismissing suggestions from President Trump and the Kremlin that Russia's drone incursion into Poland earlier this week was a mistake. In a post on X, Donald Tusk says, quote, "We would also wish that the drone attack on Poland was a mistake, but it wasn't, and we know it." On Wednesday, multiple Russian drones crossed into Poland, prompting NATO to send fighter jets to shoot them down. Russia says it did not target Poland. Moscow's ally, Belarus, says the drones went astray because they were jammed, but many European leaders say it was a deliberate provocation by Russia. Following the incident, NATO announces a new operation called Eastern Sentry. It will use extra European fighter jets, a warship, and air defense systems to plug any security gaps along its borders.
Russia's recklessness in the air along our eastern flank is increasing in frequency. Whether intentional or not, it is dangerous and unacceptable.
Although the immediacy of our focus is on Poland, this situation transcends the borders of one nation. What affects one ally affects us all.
In an interview with Fox News, the president was asked about his relationship with Russian President Vladimir Putin and whether his patience was wearing thin. Take a listen.
So has your patience run out with Putin?
Yeah, it's sort of running out and running out fast, but it does take two to tango. It's amazing. When Putin wants to do it, Zelensky didn't. When Zelensky wanted to do it, Putin did. Now Zelensky wants to, and Putin is a question mark.
Meanwhile, Moscow also sounds uncertain about the future of peace talks. This is how Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov described the situation earlier today.
Undoubtedly, one cannot simply put on rose-tinted glasses and expect that the negotiation process will yield lightning-fast results. The Russian side remains ready to follow the path of peace dialogue and peaceful search of ways to resolve the conflict. There are communication channels established. Our negotiators have opportunity to communicate through these channels. But for now, it is more appropriate to talk about a pause.
This as Russia's defense ministry says it shot down 221 Ukrainian drones overnight across more than a dozen regions in one of the largest drone attacks reported to date. Ukraine says a key Russian oil terminal that serves as a hub for Moscow's shadow fleet was hit in the attack. A bipartisan push is underway in the Senate to designate Russia as a state sponsor of terrorism. Lawmakers say Putin and his military have abducted thousands of Ukrainian children. The action comes on the heels of stepped-up Russian attacks against Ukraine and recent violation of Polish airspace. Capitol Hill correspondent Eric Rosales joins us in the studio with the latest. Eric.
Well, good evening, Veronica. You know, it's just a heartbreaking story. Russian forces abducted some 20,000 Ukrainian kids. 20,000 folks in the last 3 years. Most are infants and young teenagers ripped from their families' arms so that they can be brainwashed to hate Ukraine and trained to fight against their homeland.
This is what terrorists do. They rape, they murder, they kidnap. If Russia doesn't want to be a state sponsor of terrorism under U.S. law, return the children.
Senator Richard Blumenthal termed the kidnapping of Ukrainian children as, quote, a crime against humanity.
Vladimir Putin believes that there is no Ukraine. What he is seeking to do by kidnapping these children is to erase Ukraine from the face of the earth.
In a recent trip to Ukraine, Senator Amy Klobuchar met with families of abducted children and say although some 1,600 have managed to be returned, many are deeply scarred.
As one of the moms told me, Irina, when we met them, she's talking about the one she met, a few that came back, they didn't cry, they didn't scream, they just stared, eyes wide, eyes empty.
U.S. senators say European allies need to step up.
We all need to be using every tool in our toolbox to bring these babies, to bring these children home. It is clear that Putin will never do the right thing without being forced to.
Lawmakers are now urging Senate leaders to bring up the measure as soon as possible. Now, should the bill become law, Russia would be added to the ranks of other U.S. designated state sponsors of terrorism like Cuba, North Korea, Iran, and Syria. Veronica, it's just a heartbreaking story when you think about 20,000 children over the last 3 years ripped away from their families.
It is. Thank you so much for that report. And we have a lot more still to come on EWTN News Nightly. Just days after Israel strikes Qatar, the country's prime minister meets with the president, what they'll discuss. And a new movie out today tells the heroic story of a popular saint, and EWTN was at the premiere. Thousands of people flood the streets of Yemen's capital to rally in support of Palestinians. The protest took place after Friday prayers. Demonstrators chanted, "America is the biggest Satan." This comes as Secretary of State Marco Rubio says he will visit Israel next week. The trip is meant as a sign of support ahead of a debate at the United Nations on the creation of a Palestinian state. President Trump and advisor Steve Witkoff are set to meet tonight with the Prime Minister of Qatar. They are expected to discuss Israel's recent strikes there, which target senior Hamas leadership. The attack came with very little advance notice to the United States and frustrated some of the president's advisors. One official says the move did not advance Israel's nor America's goals. This week, the Vatican hosted a conference related to the pursuit of peace. It featured Holy See Secretary of State Cardinal Pietro Parolin. EWTN Vatican News correspondent Valentina Di Donato has more.
Oh my God. In today's world, there seems to be an endless amount of conflicts around the globe, with no resolution in sight. And as it intensifies, there is a fear the wars will become wider and prospects for peace will become smaller. Speaking on the sidelines of the Vatican's International Seminar on Creation, Nature, Environment for a World of Peace, Vatican Secretary of State Cardinal Pietro Parolin expressed his concern about the war in the Middle East, the tragedy unfolding in Gaza, and the Israeli escalation in the Strip.
Unfortunately, they are not stopping, despite the many appeals from the Catholic Church and from Cardinal Pizzaballa, the Patriarch of Jerusalem.
And in the midst of it all, the Cardinal highlighted the work of the Holy Family Catholic Church in Gaza.
They are showing admirable resilience. They are remaining near the disabled people and refusing to give in despite the violence.
The Cardinal also revealed details about the recent meeting he and Pope Leo XIV had with Israeli President Isaac Herzog.
He assured us that there would no longer be an occupation of Gaza. He said it explicitly. He said that Gaza will not be occupied by Israel. I want to believe that. I have good faith in everyone, but then we have to see the reality.
The event gathered leaders not only from the Church, but also from the worlds of business and innovation. Cardinal Parolin spoke about Pope Leo's urgent call to safeguard creation in all of its forms, by protecting the environment from exploitation and making just policies that protect human dignity, among other solutions. During the conference, speakers emphasized that care for creation, as proclaimed by the prophets, is no longer an abstract goal. It is an urgent need that extends beyond environmental protection to every facet of social, economic, and human existence. In Rome, Valentina Di Donato for EWTN News Nightly.
Former president of Brazil, Jair Bolsonaro, was sentenced to 27 years behind bars. The Brazilian Supreme Court made the decision after Bolsonaro was convicted of attempting a coup to remain in power. He lost the presidential election in 2022. He maintains that he has done nothing wrong and can appeal the decision. Today, President Trump, an ally of Bolsonaro, spoke about the sentencing.
I thought he was a good president of Brazil, and it's very surprising that that could happen. That's very much like they tried to do with me, but they didn't get away with it at all.
Staying in Brazil, a court denies a mother's request to homeschool her son. The ruling also says she must pay around $18,000 in fines. The mother, a lawyer, made the homeschool request to guarantee her son would receive education in line with the family's religious beliefs. The mother says she will appeal. Up next on EWTN News Nightly, roll out the red carpet. We go to the movie premiere of a new film featuring the life of a heroic Polish martyr. Plus, just ahead of his 70th birthday, what Americans are saying about Pope Leo. He was a Franciscan priest who gave his life so that a father wouldn't have to starve in Auschwitz. And a new film out today tells the heroic story of St. Maximilian Kolbe. EWTN's Francesca Fenton was at the premiere of Triumph of the Heart.
He knows the rules. I will choose 10 of you to starve until the missing prisoner is found or until death. This is fun.
I got children now!
I can take his place.
A new film depicting the last days of St. Maximilian Kolbe will be hitting theaters on September 12th. Over 1,000 people gathered for the premiere of Triumph of the Heart, which focuses on Kolbe's time spent in the starvation bunker in Auschwitz.
It's very surreal. I think that what I'm seeing is that God keeps on growing our vision for where he wants to take the film, where he wants to take the story. Our original plan for this event was that it would be this 200 people together in a little theater, and God, of course, had other plans.
Many in attendance highlighted the current resurgence of faith-based media being seen with shows and movies such as The Chosen and House of David, among others.
I think Christ is pouring his heart out to all of us, in every way possible, and media is kind of one of those frontiers that hasn't really been touched yet.
I think the world's pretty sick of all the fake stuff. That we're being told how to think, and we're being told to compare ourselves to things that aren't even important. The materialism has swung so far that the pendulum's making its way back. I think there's going to be this resurgence, and we see this all the time, of young people, Gen Xers, old people coming back and saying, wait, we want what's real, what's true, what's good, and what's beautiful.
St. Augustine said it well,
our hearts are restless till we rest in him. There's an emptiness when you have a certain amount of success and you have leisure. Nothing satisfies but God.
Those involved in the film hope viewers will leave the theater inspired and filled with hope.
Entering into this movie, you could quite easily walk in thinking it's going to be a pretty dark and heavy ride. But what I want them to walk out with is a sense of joy and catharsis, and a sense that no matter how dark times can get and how low one can feel, there's always a way out. There's always a crack of light somewhere that you can cling on to and follow through.
I really want people to feel love when they watch this movie, and specifically to feel the love of our Lord and how he enters into our suffering with us, just like Colby did for those men in that film. Our movie, Colby's Story, it's a modern day example that ultimately points us to Christ.
Francesca Fenton, EWTN News Nightly.
A new poll surveys the attitude of U.S. Catholics towards the first American pope. The findings are from Pew Research. It says 84% of the U.S. faithful have a favorable view of Pope Leo, and just 4% view him unfavorably. Additionally, 76% say they are either extremely excited or very excited to have a U.S.-born Holy Father. The poll also revealed that 56% of U.S. non-Catholics have a favorable view of Pope Leo. Finally, tonight, the positive poll numbers are icing on the cake for Pope Leo. Make that a birthday cake. On Sunday, the Holy Father turns 70 years old. Followers across the world are commemorating the day with celebrations in Peru and in his childhood hometown of Dalton, Illinois. EWTN News in Depth is collecting videos from viewers who want to wish Pope Leo a happy birthday. Send submissions to video@EWTNnews.com. We thank you for watching tonight. Remember, you can follow us on social media, Facebook, X, and Instagram at EWTN News Nightly. I'm Veronica Dudo. Good night and God bless.